Hey guys, it's Angela Taylor from Inspire Community Outreach, here to chat about how to pick a therapist right now, but also after being in isolation. I had a couple questions today that I thought were super good. What do different trainings mean? What kind of things are we looking for when we're receiving therapy? And so I wanted to kind of go through point by point. I can also be reached at info@inspirecommunityoutreach.ca if you have any additional questions. So as a therapist, I want you to know that anybody can call themselves a therapist here in Manitoba. That's not always going to be that way. I know that they've been working on that, but to be called a therapist or a psychotherapist in other places, you need to have a special certification through a college. And here in Manitoba, you can just call yourself that if you feel like it. So heads up about that. Always ask about what their certifications are, what insurance they have. These are really good things because different therapists generally have different specializations. And me as a therapist, I don't have all the certifications, even though I have lots. And I don't have all of the training and different things that you might benefit from. And so not only is it about fit for personality, which may or may not be a good one for you, but it also is fit for skills. So cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, is something that's really helpful, but it is not the only thing that you're going to be looking for. It has to do with thoughts, and that if we have negative thoughts, it's going to affect how we feel and our actions. And so for a lot of us who've been to talk therapy, that's generally the support that we've received. And just like a really complex person has a lot of different ways of coping in life, if you think of it kind of like a parfait or like a layer cake where there's lots of layers of complexity, we might have had lots of hard things happen, lots of good things happen, and talk therapy kind of covers the surface. So sometimes talk therapy helps in the moment or for short term, but we really need homework, we really need resources, connection, we need trauma processing to kind of get to the root of things. So if that's what you're looking for, if you're feeling like I've been to therapists before and it's never really been the right thing, it's never really helped me, really think about what you are looking for and make a list for yourself. If you've got trauma that you want to process, then put that on your list and ask about how do they process trauma? How are they certified? What techniques do they use? Are you looking for a dialectical behavioral therapy, or DBT, where you're working on the whole body system and feeling soothed from your body inward, learning about your emotional triggers, those types of things? If that's what you're looking for and you have that awareness, ask those questions. As a therapist, we are not going to be insulted if you're asking us about our certifications. We will not be upset if we're not the right fit for you. If you ask a therapist what their specialization is and they say everything, really question that. As a therapist, I have certain things that I'm very exceptional at, and I know what they are, and I know I'm not good at everything, and I'm not the best fit for everybody. I'm generally not going to be upset at all if someone stops seeing me because I hope that they're going to have the right fit. I want to help them get the right fit if that's not me. So those are some tips and tricks. Make a list of the things that you're looking for. Ask the questions about how they're certified, what techniques they use. If you're looking for trauma therapy, ask those questions. How do they process trauma? And they should be able to answer that no problem. Because a skilled therapist, that's literally what we do every day. Some other tips and tricks is you can be asking about peer support. So for an example, one of the areas that I believe in that's very successful is my lived experience, somebody who's experienced very challenging things, growing up in foster care, being in toxic relationship. All of those pieces have given me information that I wouldn't have received in school. And so that's lived experience, personal experience that allows me to connect with people in a peer-to-peer way, which is different than a lot of the certifications that one can receive. So if that's what you're looking for, is that understanding from person to person, then you can ask about that. If they have been certified in peer support, or if they use their lived experience in the type of therapies that they offer. Somatic therapy is also another piece that's about using the body experience to heal and to grow and to learn new ways of coping in the world. I would encourage you to also ask about attachment and how they believe in connection, and because trauma is not actually just from the experience that we have. It's actually trauma is from the relationship about the situation that's happened, and trauma is also healed in relationship. So a good therapist is going to know that and can build that real safe connection with you and help you build that safer connection with your attachment relationships in your family, in your immediate family, or otherwise in your community. And all of these things can be done through video chat. There's something special about in-person relationships and therapy, but we can also do this through video chat. Lots of the organizations that were helping community members before isolation are still helping people. So I'd encourage you to reach out when you have the energy, and knowing that what you're capable of today might not be the same as tomorrow or next week, and really honor that we have different levels of energy and different levels of being ready to work on our trauma or the challenges that we faced and to learn new skills. And there's no shame in that. That's being human, and that's okay. So I really encourage you to be kind to yourself, self-compassion, and being mindful that you're amazing and that you don't need to be perfect is part of healing. And there's tons of really great things about that. Another question that families and individuals ask me is like, do you give homework? Do you send notes or emails? I believe that every therapist should be sending some type of homework, because if I'm getting 1 hour with one awesome person I get to work with, and let's say it's a couple times a month or once a week, there's a lot of growth that can happen in between there. And if I'm giving support by giving ideas, projects, homework in between, it's going to really excel that growth of that person. And as a person who's receiving care, I feel like it's getting my money's worth. So I'd ask a therapist too, do they give homework? Do I need to take notes as a client, or do you send me notes? Are those notes having my name or my personal information in there? That's also something to ask. As a therapist, I do send notes. I send resources, links that you could find anywhere, so that their personal health information is always safe, that's not ever going to be jeopardized by someone hacking into an email, etc. So asking those questions, you're allowed to ask those questions. And as a therapist, I would encourage you to find the best fit by getting the answers that you're looking for. If you have any other questions about Inspire Community Outreach, you can check us out at inspirecommunityoutreach.ca. And if you have questions about the supports that we offer, you can email us, contact us, and register for one-on-one therapy, group support. We've also got some webinars and learning opportunities about raising awesome kids or being a caregiver, and kind of processing some of the trauma and challenges that we all come across, because we don't get through this life without trauma, unfortunately. So if you're curious about us, please reach out. But I look forward to hearing about your journey and finding the right supports for you. And I encourage you that when you're ready, that you do.